Okay, now we're going to continue in Elliott and Woodward's Appendix A. We're going to move on to example A2 on page 323, where we're going to import a data file from Microsoft Excel. This is something that you might be doing. You may want to initially, if you do need to enter data, or you might receive data to analyze in an Excel format. This is actually pretty common. If you use SurveyMonkey or those types of online services, you might get it in Excel. So what we need to do first is to open the Excel file, and SPSS does that. So we go to File, Open, Data, and then we need to navigate to the appropriate directory where it is, so go ahead and do that. I've already done that. I'm going to grab the example file, an XLSX file, an Excel file from my Elliott and Woodward text list, and I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to click Open. And then I'm going to get a dialog box that comes up. Sometimes it takes a minute, it might take longer if it's a big file. And what we can do here is if there's more than one worksheet in the Excel file, they'll all come up here if you click on this down arrow. There's only one, so we don't have to worry about it. The only thing that I changed, the percentage of values that determine the data type. In case there's a lot of empty cells, I changed this to 65. That's as low as you can go. I don't change anything else. It gives you an example of what your data is going to look like so that you can see if it's going to work or not. And then you just click OK. And it brings the data in. Voila, you now have an untitled SPSS data set. Here's your data view, your actual data, and we have data for 50 people, 50 surveys, and here's our variable view that we'll be able to type into. So as always, we want to save it. So we go to File, Save As, and then select the directory where you want. You always want to stay very organized. So we have to give it, I already have a file name. We're just going to call it our example, we'll call it our imported example file, just so it doesn't get mixed up with the one I already had. So you can just type in any file name, not too long. Don't use any special characters. We see our file name there at the top. And then you can fill in these value labels if you want. Let's say it's your own data. So group, you're going to say, you can just type in group, and we can say age of participant. You can type in whatever you would like that has meaning, right? This is assuming that you know your own data. So here, this is going to come up in the tables when I run frequencies. So for example, let's run a frequency for time 1 and time 2, and you're going to see the difference between having a label and not having a label. So time 1, that's the label I typed in. It shows at the top of the table. Time 2 just uses the variable name. So you can do that too. It's really up to you. Is it going to be a label that you want to determine, or is it going to be just the variable name? So you can adjust your data however you'd like to here. It already assigns, when it recognizes numeric, SPSS assigns it a scale, and then if it recognizes what's a categorical variable in terms of status, then it assigns it as nominal. So that is how you bring in a data set. You would refer to your code book to fill in the appropriate values. You would also save your data set. So pretty easy to bring in a data set from Excel. You go to File, Open, Data, locate your file, click on it, click Open, and you're ready to go. Then clean up the file however you would like and save it with a file name. Put it somewhere where you know where it is.